So we use LM for comparing groups, but, and this is very important, there are a few rules that must be followed. It only works when your data or your residuals, so the differences, are normally distributed. The groups must be independent. Also, LM will not work when you have dependent data. And the two groups must have the same spread. And when these three criteria are okay, when your data meets these three criteria, then you can do LM for comparing the groups. Also important here is the fact that your first group should be 0 and your second group should be 1. If this is not the case, then the interpretation of the intercept and the slope will not be correct. So if your first group is 1 and your second group is 2, well, then the intercept will no longer be the mean of your first group. So it is quite important that your first group is group number 0 and that there is a distance of 1 between your two groups along the x-axis. If there's not a distance of 1, then the slope will again not represent the difference between the two means. So this 0 and 1 is very important. It needs to be like this. So the safest way to ensure that your groups have the correct labeling on the x-axis, that they get the correct value on the x-axis, is by telling R that they are categories. How can I tell R that a variable contains categories? Well, by converting it into a factor. Indeed, what is the grouping variable in our data? So the column that defines the groups, well, the column that defines the groups in our data is the smoke column. So this is the thing that we need to factorize. How? Well, you replace the smoke column by a factorized version of the smoke column.